Hello everyone. We are going to discuss today Cauchy integral test. Okay, so first let us discuss the statement, and this is very important test because will prove the hyperharmonic series with the help of this integral test, and hyperharmonic series is used in many tests. So first let us read the Cauchy integral test. If f is a non-negative, monotonically decreasing and integrable. Okay, non-negative means the values of f are non-negative, not negative, and decreasing means if x1 is less than x2, then fx1 must be greater than fx2. And integrable function, that means the function's integration is possible such that fn is equal to an. That means fn means the function, a sequence is a function whose domain is a set of natural number, and this f is that function. Okay, for all natural numbers, then the series summation n and the sequence in. And what is in? In is integration from 1 to n fx dx. This f x dx both converge or diverge together. That means if you want to check whether this series is convergent or divergent, we just check this sequence in, is it is convergent or divergent, and these will converge or diverge together. So let us prove it. First, suppose we have any real number. Let us consider x be any real number. Let x be any real number such that n plus 1 is greater than or equal to x is greater than or equal to n. Means any number lying between n and n plus 1. Okay, as f is monotonically decreasing, so the values get reversed. That means f of n plus 1 is less than or equal to f of x, and this is less than or equal to f of n, right? And what is fn? Fn is n for all n belonging to n. So f of n plus 1 is a n plus 1, means that n plus 1 a term of the sequence of which the series is made, right? This is less than or equal to fx, and this is less than or equal to an. Okay. For any natural number, we have taken this x. Now we integrate within the limits 1 to n, n to n plus 1, n to n plus 1, an plus 1 dx less than or equal to n to n plus 1 fx dx less than or equal to n to n plus 1 an dx. As we have taken x between n and n plus 1, so we have taken the limit of integration from n to n plus 1. Okay, this can be done for every n. So this an plus 1 is a constant with respect to x, n is also constant with respect to x, and this limit will be then an plus 1. Integration of dx is x, and limits from x n to n plus 1 less than or equal to n to n plus 1 fx dx, which is less than or equal to an x from n to n plus 1. Now what it will be? First we put the upper limit, and then the lower limit. It will be n plus 1 minus n, it's 1, and it is again n plus 1 minus n, it's again 1. So we get, it implies an plus 1 is less than or equal to n to n plus 1 fx dx, and this is less than or equal to an, and this can be done for all n when x lies between n and n plus 1. Okay, so let us take it as number. Now we put one by one as n is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. Okay. So we first put n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, then 3, then up to n minus 1. Okay. So first put n is equal to 1. What do we get? a2 is less than or equal to 1 to 2 fx dx is less than or equal to a1, then a3 less than or equal to 2 to 3 fx dx less than or equal to a2, then a4 less than equal to 3 to 4 fx dx less than equal to a3 and so on. In the end we shall put n as n minus 1 and get an less than equal to as n minus 1 will get a n minus 1 to n fx dx less than equal to a, replacing n with n minus 1 we get this. Okay, now what do? We add all these inequality. On the left hand side we'll get a2 plus a3 plus a4 up to n, and on the right hand side we'll get a1 plus a2 plus a3 up to an minus 1, and in the middle what do we get? The integration from 1 to 2 plus 2 to 3 plus 3 to 4 plus n minus 1 to n. So adding all these from consecutive integrals we'll get a2 plus a3 plus a4 up to an less than equal to, this is C, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, n minus 1 to n. So when we add all these we'll get 1 to n fx dx, and this is less than equal to a1 plus a2 plus a3 up to an minus 1. Now as we are given the series summation an, n varies from 1 to infinity, let Sn be the sequence of partial sums. Sn be the sequence of partial sums. As I told earlier, what is Sn? Sn means the sum of first n terms, a1 plus a2 plus and so on up to n. So on the left hand side what do we get? See, it is a2 to n, the sum of, if I take it as Sn, so there is lack of one term which is a1. On the left hand side what do we have? On the left hand side, see, it is Sn minus a1. In the middle term it is 1 to n fx dx, and on the right hand side it is a1 a2 an minus 1. So this is Sn minus an. Okay. Now this is in as given in the statement. So Sn minus a1 less than equal to in less than equal to Sn minus an. And you know, as an is non-negative, so it is again less than equal to Sn. Sn minus an is less than equal to Sn. So we are considering the case Sn minus a1 less than equal to in less than equal to Sn. Suppose this is number 2. Now we are considering the case when in, as we want to prove that this sequence in and this series n both converge or diverge together, and we know that this series is convergent if and only if the sequence of partial sums is convergent, and the sequence of partial sums is convergent, then the series is convergent. So if we show that in is convergent, then Sn is convergent, and in is divergent, that implies Sn is divergent. So first case 1, let in is convergent. Let in is convergent. So if in is convergent, what do we have? Limit n tends to infinity, in is finite, is equal to IC. Okay, and in is what? 1 to n fx dx. See, suppose n increases, that means the area of this integration increases. Okay, when n increases, the area of this integration, okay, length of the integration will increase. And since f is non-negative, that means the value of in increases as n increases. The value of in increases as n increases, means in is monotonically increasing. And a monotonically increasing sequence is convergent if it's bounded above. It means when limit n tending to infinity, in is finite. It means that in is bounded above. Okay? And this implies in is less than equal to, suppose, k for all n. But from here, but then 2 implies Sn minus a1 less than equal to in less than equal to k for all n. But this implies Sn is less than equal to k plus a1 for all n, and it implies Sn is bounded above. Sn is bounded above. But Sn, the series terms of the series are non-negative, so Sn must be monotonically increasing, and monotonically increasing sequence which is bounded above is always convergent, and it implies Sn is convergent. But this implies summation an varies from 1 to infinity is convergent, right? Next we consider the case 2 when In is divergent. Case 2 when In is divergent, okay? But when In is divergent means limit n tending to infinity, In, this is infinity. And when this is infinity, it means this is unbounded above. When limit n tending to infinity, In is infinity, because In is monotonically increasing and which is divergent. Then it diverges to infinity means it is an unbounded above. And unbounded above means In is greater than equal to k for all n. Given any real number k, however large, In can be made greater than k. It implies there exists a positive integer m such that In is greater than k for all n greater than equal to m. But this implies from this part of the inequality of equation number 2, Sn is greater than equal to In and In is greater than k for all n greater than equal to m. It means this Sn is also unbounded above. But when Sn is unbounded above, as Sn is monotonically increasing sequence which is unbounded above, it means Sn diverges to infinity. And Sn diverges to infinity, it implies summation n diverges to infinity. Okay. So by integral test, what do we make? We make a sequence of integrals from the given series, and then we check the convergence or divergence of the series with the help of this integral. Okay. So let us do some numericals with the help of this Cauchy integral test. So first example, is numerical, which is the numerical which we have used earlier as a hyperharmonic series test with the help of Cauchy integral series. Test the convergence of summation 1 upon n raised to the power p. N varies from 1 to infinity and p is greater than 0. P is any positive real number. Okay. Now p is positive because if we take p as negative, when p is taken as negative, the n will go in the numerator, and when n approaches to infinity, the sequence is clearly divergent. Okay. So we have taken p positive so that this number will remain less than 1. It will not be greater than 1. Okay. Otherwise the series will definitely be divergent. So we have taken p as positive. Okay. Now we compare. As we have taken f of n is an, and comparing this series with summation n varies from 1 to infinity. What do we have? Fn is an means it is 1 upon n raised to the power p. Where p is positive. So f of x is 1 upon x raised to the power p. Remember the statement f must be non-negative. It is clearly non-negative for all x greater than equal to 1. Okay. And p is positive. Then f is monotonically decreasing. How do we check monotonically decreasing? Let x1 is less than x2. We will show f of x1 is greater than fx2. Okay, to check whether f is monotonically increasing or decreasing, what do we check? Let x1 is less than x2 and we will show f(x1) is greater than fx2. So x1 is less than x2. It implies x1 raised to the power p is less than x2 raised to the power p. But this implies 1 upon x1 raised to the power p is greater than 1 upon x2 raised to the power p, and this implies f of x1 is greater than f of x2, and therefore the function is monotonically decreasing. Okay, right? Next, it is clearly integrable. You know its integration. F integration, we know that In is 1 to n fx dx. Okay, so this is 1 to n 1 upon x raised to the power p dx. This is 1 to n x raised to the power minus p dx. Okay, clearly we have three cases when p is greater than 1. What is the integration when p is equal to 1 and when p less than 1? So we will discuss three cases separately. First case, case 1. Case 1, if p is greater than 1. See the integration. So if p is not equal to 1, I can do the integration over here. This is equal to x raised to the power minus p plus 1 upon minus p plus 1, limit from 1 to n if p is not equal to 1, and this is equal to log x 1 to n if p is equal to 1. Okay, so when p is greater than 1, right, if p is equal to 1, then it will be 1 by x, and the integration of 1 by x is log x. And if p is not equal to 1, the integration is x raised to the power minus p plus 1 upon minus p plus 1. Okay, so when p is greater than 1, the limit will be it's n raised to the power 1 minus p upon 1 minus p minus 1 upon 1 minus p. So when p is greater than 1, this power here, it is negative. P is greater than 1, see this power is negative, and when the power is negative, it will be of this type. This is equal to 1 upon 1 minus p into n raised to the power p minus 1 minus 1 upon 1 minus p. In is this, and limit n tending to infinity in, what it will be? Power p is greater than 1, so here this power of n is positive, and when n approaches to infinity, this part will approaches to infinity, and 1 upon infinity is 0, so it is 1 upon 1 minus p, which is finite, and therefore in is convergent, and it implies summation en is n varies from 1 to infinity is convergent by integral test, Cauchy integral test. Okay, next we see the case if p is less than 1. When p is less than 1, see when p is less than 1, the power over there, it is positive. So we write this as when p is less than 1, see this power is positive. So when p, will write this as like this. And when we take n approaches to infinity, it will be infinity minus a finite quantity, which is infinite. Okay, and therefore the sequence in is divergent, and hence the series summation n is also divergent. Okay, and last, the case when p is equal to 1, it is log x from 1 to n. Log x means this is log of n, in will be then log n minus log of 1, which is 0. This is equal to log of n, and limit n tending to infinity in. It is log of infinity, which is infinity. Again, in is divergent. It implies summation n is divergent. So, what about the hyperharmonic series? Is that the series is convergent for p greater than 1 and divergent for p less than 1 and for p equal to 1. Okay. So, summation 1 upon n raised to the power p is convergent for p greater than 1 and divergent for p less than equal to 1. Okay. Let us consider some more examples. This is again a very important series and also used in many tests. Test the convergence of the series summation 1 upon n log n raised to the power p, n varies from 1 to infinity. See, if we take n is equal to 1 over here, okay, n is equal to 1, log 1 is 0 and 1 upon 0, this is infinity, okay, when n approaches to infinity, so this will skip here, n is equal to 1, we will take from n is equal to 2, that part we have skipped, okay. Summation n varies from 2 to infinity, you have to check the convergence of this series. Now, remember, in Cauchy integral test we have taken x greater than equal to 1 and we have taken the integral from 1 to n. Okay, if we have the series from n is equal to 2 to infinity, then we take in from 2 to n, and if we take n from k to infinity, we will take in as k to n. Okay, remember this step. Now n is from 2 to infinity, 1 upon n log n raised to the power p. So here fx is 1 upon x log x raised to the power p. Okay, first, clearly as x varies from 2 to infinity, so this is positive always, first condition. Second condition, when f must be decreasing, so let us take x1 less than x2. As log is increasing function, so log of x1 is less than log of x2, and raising the power p will get this, multiply both of these, will get x1 log of x1 raised, multiply these 1 and 2. Okay, multiply, we get x1 log x1 raised to the power p is less than x2 into log of x2 raised to the power p. Okay, taking the reciprocals of both, x1 log of x1 raised to the power p is greater than 1 upon x2 log x2 raised to the power p. And what is this? If this is fx, then this is f of x1, and this is greater than f of x2. So when x1 is less than x2, fx1 is greater than fx2, and therefore this is monotonically decreasing. So this is non-negative and this is monotonically decreasing. Also the integration is possible, because if I put log x as t, then 1 upon x dx is dt. So integration of fx is, now find in is 2 to n fx dx. Okay, and fx dx, it is 1 upon x log x raised to the power p, again p is positive real number, dx. If I put log x as t, so it is dt upon t raised to the power p. If I choose log x as t, so it is t raised to the power p, log x as t, then 1 upon x dx, it is dt. So it is dt upon t raised to the power p integration, and this is again, if p is not equal to 1, this is equal to t raised to the power minus p plus 1 upon minus p plus 1 if p is not equal to 1, and this is log of t if p is equal to 1. So substituting over here, it is t means log x, so it is log x raised to the power minus p plus 1 upon minus p plus 1, limits from 2 to n, if p is not equal to 1, and this is equal to log of log x from 1 to n if p is equal to 1. So first, when p is not equal to 1, then either p is greater than 1 or p is less than 1. So case when p is greater than 1. Again, when p is greater than 1, see, p is greater than 1, come here. P is greater than 1, it means this part is negative. So I'll write it as 1 upon 1 minus p into, we are considering the case when p is greater than 1. Okay. So the limit in will be 1 upon 1 minus p into 1 upon log n raised to the power 1 minus, it is p minus 1. Okay. Then this will be log 2 upon 1 minus p, log 2 raised to the power 1 minus p upon 1 minus p. Okay. So when n approaches to infinity, as p is greater than 1, so this power is positive. This power is positive when n approaches to infinity. Limit n approaches to infinity in. This power is positive when n approaches to infinity. This part is infinity, and 1 upon infinity is 0. So limit n approaches to infinity, in is 0 minus 1 upon 1 minus p into 1 upon log 2 raised to the power p minus 1. So it is a finite quantity and therefore this is convergent, and as in is convergent, then summation n is also convergent. Okay, next we consider the case when p is less than 1. When p is less than 1, clearly this power, when p is less than 1, this power is positive, and in this case it is in is 1 upon 1 minus p log of n raised to the power p is less than 1, means it is 1 minus p, this is positive power, okay, minus log of 2 raised to the power 1 minus p upon 1 minus p. So when n approaches to infinity, limit n tending to infinity, in, this is infinity minus a finite quantity, and therefore this is infinite, and therefore the sequence in is divergent, and when the sequence in is divergent, this series is also divergent, right? Last, when p is equal to 1, when p is equal to 1, then limit will be log of log n minus log of log 1, and this is infinity, okay, this is infinity, and log of 1, sorry, it's log 2 to n, log of 2, this is infinity minus a finite quantity, this is again infinity, and therefore in is divergent, and therefore summation n is also divergent. So we have the result for this series. This is convergent for p greater than 1 and divergent for p less than equal to